Good morning YouTube, this is Cactus Naga with a new video on replacing the taillight assembly on a 2003 Toyota Solara. So as you can see, there is this the plastic cover has broken, and so there's no way that we can change only that out, so the entire assembly has to be replaced. I did get an assembly off eBay for $45, and that's what I'm going to be swapping out. So I guess the first thing that we got to do is kind of go back into the trunk here and take a look at what's going on. So there is a fastener. Actually, the fastener is somewhere here. There's a fastener here that will kind of come off, and there is another screw here that will be taken off, and we will remove this panel and see what else to do. So I'm looking at the replacement assembly that I got off eBay, and there appears to be only four fasteners that kind of correspond to these four here. So what I will do is I will remove these nuts and wiggle the broken assembly off. These four screws, the nuts are now off, and I removed this little latch that was hooked onto here, and of course during removal it did kind of break it off. I guess it's just to kind of hold it in place. I will next have to remove this electrical harness. I think to do that we just have to depress this little lever here, and that should allow this brown housing to come off. So everything has been disconnected now, and this housing, the lamp housing assembly, should be able to come off. I'm going to work at it from the outside, kind of move it around a little bit, and hopefully it'll come off in one piece. It did come off quite easily. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Just clean up that area. There's some dirt and dust and leaves, etc., that have accumulated over time. Just clean that up. I will plug in the new light assembly and make sure that all the bulbs are working, and tighten up the screws. So looking good, clean. All the dust and dirt has been cleaned off. I've also plugged in the electrical connection and made sure that all the bulbs were working. So next thing is to reinstall it. So I do notice that the new replacement assembly does not come with this foam gasket. This is the new replacement one, and so what I'm going to do is carefully remove this foam gasket off the old broken one and reuse that. It's kind of glued in place, so I will be using some sort of a sharp blade to kind of slice off the gasket. So I did get the foam liner off. It was kind of stuck in this spot here and a few other spots, another spot here, and this area was a little tricky to get off, but it did come off, and here it is. I will be cleaning it up and installing it on my replacement headlight assembly. Of course, if you are getting a new headlight assembly, this won't be a problem. It will probably come with its own gasket, so just something to be aware of. So I did clean out the the foam gasket with some water, and just to kind of revive it and kind of fluff it up again, I have applied some WD-40. Not sure whether that's going to help or not, but I'm just going to let it sit for a while and see if it helps. So the cleaned up gasket is now installed on the replacement assembly, and it's ready to install. So I've got the four fasteners screwed back on. So this is indeed a plastic housing, so we got to be careful when we tighten these nuts. So what I was doing was, while tightening from here, I was constantly adjusting the outside of the plastic body, so that it kind of picks up the slack as it goes along. Otherwise you might end up breaking something. So I've replaced the panel again, and I did misspeak earlier on. The two fasteners at the bottom are really not screws, but they're more like these plastic clips. So I've replaced both of them, and on the top it's like a sort of a cap, a plastic cap that screws on to the bolt there. Unfortunately, I got only one of them, so I will have to devise some way to retain that shortly. But nonetheless, here it is. It's looking good. I've checked out the three bulbs. They all seem to be working fine. So all is well. And thanks for watching.